Hello, this is the Reverend Dr. David Chotka of Spirit Equipped Ministries. I have a few thoughts on the passing of our monarch, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I didn't think that a funeral for a monarch would hold my attention so profoundly as the service that 4 billion souls were able to witness today on the passing of Her Majesty Elizabeth II. It surprised me that I'd be so moved. But I really was. Every movement, every reading, every action was carefully planned to testify that she embodied her nation, her commonwealth, and most importantly, her faith. She believed in everything that's filled with hope. When all was dark and gloomy, she would never surrender to the shadow. But she shone the light of hope for us to understand that in time all would be well. She learned that from her mother, the Queen Mother Elizabeth, who used to walk through the streets during the bombing raids of World War II. She, Elizabeth II herself, did this after the death of her husband and Prince Consort Philip. She served the nation until 2 days before she died and surrendered her life to the God she had served all her days, for as long as most of us can remember. 2 thoughts filled my heart as I listened and watched. The first was the rightness of the scripture quoted at her final service. As for man, his days are like grass. As a flower of the field, so he flourishes. When the wind has passed over it, it is no more, and its place acknowledges it no more. Yet the steadfast love of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting on those who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children. From Psalm 103, verses 15 to 17. She knew this in her bones. God was and is steadfast, and she walked with him. The second thought was that the hymn chosen at her service spoke of how the power of empire often got in the way of serving God, but in the end, God would be supreme. It was a fitting hymn to use, and it reminded me of another old Anglican hymn sung at evensong as it spoke of endings and beginnings. I don't know if you'll know it, but here's the words: "The day thou gavest, Lord, is ended. The darkness falls at thy behest. To thee our morning prayers have ended. Thy praise shall sanctify our rest." The reason why this old hymn came to mind is that it was written for Empire Day by a monarchist way back in 1817 when Victoria was the queen. That writer understood that empire does end, and God's rule never does. The words to the last verse of that old hymn summarize how Elizabeth II oversaw the end of empire with its grasping power-mongering, and the rise of commonwealth with its shared understanding of how we need to advance each other's well-being. And so became the adored sovereign of the planet because she didn't grab onto empire, she empowered us. Here's the words to the last verse of that old Anglican evensong hymn. So be it, Lord. Thy throne shall never, like earth's proud empires, pass away. Thy kingdom stands and grows forever, till all thy creatures own thy sway. Queen Victoria in her day and Queen Elizabeth II both understood that God's kingdom was the most important one. We would do well to learn from them. God save the King, His Highness King Charles III. This is Reverend Dr. David Chotka of Spirit Equipped Ministries. I'd be delighted if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel or sign up for our blogs. You can do that at www.spiritequipped.com. May the Lord bless you on this day to mark the passing of our sovereign queen. God bless.